favorite MIT class was Gina Diaz's Introduction to Fiction classes.
Yes.
Thank you, Chichi.
Anniversary. My husband is such an introvert, so we can all continue this. I thought I was going to laugh. I'm like, this is such a setup. Come on. And here was, how about those amazing presentations? Now that we've woken up. Good. We're good. All right, let's go. All right, so April 16, 2016 was the most beautiful experience. Sky was blue, sun was high in the sky, it was crisp. So I did what you're supposed to do with a perfect spring day. I threw a pool party. But what I didn't know, what I couldn't have known, was that was also a beautiful day to die. And that before sunset, I would find myself completely submerged in the deep end of the pool, waiting, praying that somebody had seen me go down and that somebody was coming to rescue me. And then after the most improbable rescue, I would emerge baptized into an alternative purpose path in water safety. A purpose path that had nurtured me from almost the beginning, when I had put my blueprint on my engineering career down, but which I had largely ignored until then. So let's talk about blueprint and engineering. I wanted to be a petroleum engineer since I was 13, because that was the industry that fueled Nigeria, which is my native country. So it made sense. And that was the plan. Everybody was on board. Until the year before I went to MIT. All of a sudden I found out everything that happened from engineering. And all of a sudden my mom was like, oh my God, all of you are in the club. I'm like, Mom, because I was 2017. So I changed to chemical engineering. Came to MIT and everything. But then something changed. My MIT career first. I got the first nudge towards water safety when we all received that notification during orientation. You remember? So after the 3 times to graduate, or you guys get swimming, beginning class, right? So let me paint the picture for you. Before MIT, I had never taken a swim class. I had never been in open water. I had actually never been in a pool. No water experience whatsoever. Beyond being at the beach, and I want to crash my feet. So I was definitely not going to take that swim test. It was not going to happen. And even the thought that the swimming beginners class was so terrifying. I was like, we're going to pump this until the last possible moment.
Talk to you.
So that's me. Yeah. Deferred. Now, so I was chemical engineering. Spring semester freshman year, I noticed something disturbing. All the course 10 seniors were miserable. They were looking around like zombies, bloodshot eyes. Like, what's going on? We're taking ice. Okay, I need to be told twice. I'm like, not doing that. By junior year, I started thinking what I was going to do with my medical degree. I had no idea. But my medical engineering seemed cool. Like medical devices, artificial limbs. I'm like, okay, that's out of mine. But my senior year, after curfew, one petroleum services company invited me to come find out more about their company over free pizza. Now, I don't know how much you remember about being a student. So I went to the session, and an hour in, I told mechanical engineering, I told biomedical engineering minor, and I was back. As far as that to say, education, water safety, this was the last opportunity. We were in spring semester senior year, and I needed this to graduate. So I showed up to the school, I'm like, hi, I'm here for the class. And he's like, you're a senior, oh my God. Okay. But check this out. For that class, they were going to teach us how to do the front crawl. Now, for anybody who knows how to do the front crawl, it's arms, it's kick, and it's breath, right? Seems simple enough. But if you're terrified of water, half of your attention is obsessed with, that's the big sign. While I'm doing this, I can't drift in there. So you only have partial attention to actually learn the thing you're trying to teach you. So what that looked like for me was that I was only going to get 2 out of the 3. So pick which 2. So here's how it went. For my final task, I decided to pick the arms and the legs. So I took one big breath, went all the way to the end of the pool, took another big breath, came all the way back. And that's how I graduated from this place. But I knew, oh my God, this is not going to serve me well in underwater. So then that summer, I took a swimming class at Georgia Tech to learn the breathing part. And after all the weeks, I was now able to swim laps, taking breaths on the right side every 3 strokes. But I was still afraid. Because nothing about showing you how to move actually addresses fear. So, still doesn't afraid of deep water. I know how to cross over it, don't know how to stop in it, and don't know how to self-rescue in it. Year 1 after MIT, that services company, the producer services company in Chile, I got deployed to Peru. Lovely, lovely country. And Peru has operations both onshore and offshore. So they have to give you safety training to equip you for when you go to work. For the offshore one, you have to take water survival training. So, you can see this. These are my colleagues in the ocean demonstrating, someone working at us. Where am I? That's me. On the boat. So, drive! Yes, you get it. I did not go into that water. No chance in hell I'm going into a Pacific Ocean. First time in my life? So I was avoided. But thankfully, I didn't have to do any offshore jobs. So I got away with it. But by the next year, I was in the Gulf of Mexico. This time, I was looking at international wells. I was looking at wells being drilled in real time and offering recommendations to oil and gas companies on how to reduce their inefficiencies. Okay? Really cool stuff. But the difference with Gulf of Mexico is now you're mandated to get water treaty certifications. And without certifications, you can't work offshore. So I know I really need to do this thing. But thankfully I learned something. With a lighter arm, I'm like Superwoman. I can do anything. I'm like forward buoyancy. So some of the stuff we have to do was like this. So what this is if your chopper on the way to the ring crashes into the ocean and flips around, you have to demonstrate that you can unbuckle yourself while upside down, push open the window pane, get out, and service. That's what that is. Another thing you have to do is, in a dire situation that you cannot escape your platform or your rig with like a lifeboat, you might need to actually upboard. You might need ditch and jump into the water. So to show you how to do that safely, that's why I dropped 30 feet. You have to find the lowest part, but it's pretty high. Okay? And while you're in the water, you have to be able to swim and get down and not safely. So it's like, let's see what this is look like, right? And guess what? Your girl passed out! Yeah, but still great. Yeah. At some point, I had a panic attack when we had to put in. There was this rebreather. It's like a closed circuit breathing apparatus. You put it in the water, and I literally just freaked out. I got up, and all these instructors looked at me like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "You need this for your job." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I got some breathing in, and gut and check the box. Okay? So now I can walk ashore, but fundamentally it's still rain. Yeah? But I know I'm good with a life vest, so this is a good thing. So we're pretty much good until year 6 was MIT. Now I'm a drilling engineer. I'm designing international wells, really cool work, let's go. But in my personal life, one of my best friends, JJ, right there, another introvert, yay! I'm an astro got married to Dan, oh my, yeah. And they decided to elope to Kauai. And as part of wedding week, we decided to go snorkeling. So remember, I know I can handle myself with the life vest, right? So grab the life vest, we're good, get in the water, I hear bubbles. Get in the water again, I hear bubbles again. I'm like, yeah, my vest is leaking. So I go to the library, I'm like, my vest is leaking, I'm gonna need another one. He goes, we don't have any other ones. All of them are done. So I'm like, what do I do? He's like, you can hang around here in the shower side. You know, if you're too afraid to go out and deep. Like, whatever. So I hang out in the shower side, where I could walk, looking at the little fish, and it was all good. Until everybody said coming back, the gold was so beautiful, we saw baby shark! So now I'm thinking that I'm like, I paid for this experience. I want to experience this too, right? So I got there, I'm like, look, my life is leaking and I want to see it. So solve this. He rolls his eye and he rolls his life rescue tube. You guys know what the right thing of the life rescue is? Yeah, he just looking at like, whatever. Take it. Tuck you under my armpit. Went out to the deep and loved it. It was beautiful. This is Hawaii. It's gorgeous, right? But this is the end of the trip, right? So, you know, I really thought students had to come back. We both looked down and then returned the rescue tube. My life vest completely deflated. So truly it was leaking. Now imagine if I had gone out to the deep with this thing and it had deflated on me. I have no self-rescue skills and I was still afraid of deep water. I most certainly would have had a near-drowning experience. So I call it a near miss, right? Year 11. Oh, by this time I'm in the leadership tranche of my career. Yay, no more few words. So let's talk about this book a little bit. By then I had gone to lead marketing and development for one of the biggest trade companies in the world. I helped them lock down about $250 million in contracts. And then I was like, yo, I need that money for myself. I need to start my own thing. So I started my firm. And I was working for one of my first customers when I decided to do what I love, the book parties. And now we're back to the story that started this talk. So this is one of the guests of the party, and I noticed he was doing something, and he was called a doggy paddle. Does anyone know what a doggy paddle is like? Yeah, you like doing these things. And your head is above the water the whole time, right? So I started like, if I learn that one, I'll finally be safe. It will be like land. It's like oil land, right? Because my head is above the water the whole time. I thought that if I learned that would be the solution to my fear. So I asked him to show me. And he did. I did it for a while in the shallow end. It was going on well. And I said, okay, I'm going to know that I know it for real if I can do it from the shallow to the deep end, right? Good. Now let me walk it out. I mean, if this thing falls apart, I'll just switch to the front crawl and make it to the other end. Good plan. Great plan. Except that by the time I got to the middle of the deep, which is where I got fully exhausted, and decided to switch, there was no energy left to switch. I couldn't kick, I couldn't move, and guess what? Submerged. And I knew that I was going to need help to get out, because I had no skills to rescue. So I waited, and waited. I waited long enough to the point where I actually made peace with the fact that I was actually going to die. Thankfully, a stranger was there. And when we told the story later, he actually wasn't supposed to be there. He had checked out of the hotel, his stuff was gone, and he said he had a voice in the spirit. He said, go out and pull. It made no sense, but he did. And he was the only one by the pool that day who actually knew how to rescue. So I guess I'm here by God's version. That's why I think it's God's work, okay? And so, after that incident, I knew that I could no longer be fair, I could no longer avoid, I could no longer do shortcuts, I needed to do this for real. I needed to learn how to overcome fear of the water and with self-rescue. So I started taking all kinds of classes, traditional, non-traditional, like we're doing this thing, right? And after a couple of years of doing the thing, I learned to overcome fear and then to self-rescue. Thank you. Okay, how big is this problem? You know, is it just me? Like, what's going on here? And I realized that the 2014 Ranker survey that states that people were interviewed, about 80% of the people who were surveyed said they could swim. Great. But when you put them to the test, on the 5 basic skills that get them to self-rescue from a pool, only 56% of the 80% who can swim could actually self-rescue. That means really only about 45% of people can safely self-rescue from a pool. It's a big problem. So I said, okay, does this apply to all alumni? So I started calling. I started calling people in my network. And I got water stories from alumni from as early as 1991 all the way to current day. I'm talking 2024 graduates with similar stories like mine. Deathly afraid of deep water, came to MIT, to a swimming beginners class, still afraid of boiling water as much as possible. So I started to ask myself, what's the point of this requirement if it's not going to address at least the most basic thing? If you're still going to be unsafe after a event. So I was like, okay, I'm going to need to share some of what I've learned about overcoming fear and see if we can implement it, right? Makes sense. So I started My Freedom from Fear, which is a water safety training initiative. It teaches adults with long-held fear of deep water how to overcome that fear and experience self-rescue. That's our QR code. So we got your phones, yeah? Yeah? We can use as many phones as possible. Yay! There you go. So, got to join that together, engage MIT Aquatic to see what we can do about students that are like me. We're still in talks. And now you guys are complicit. So if I get a still, I'm going to call y'all. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm also going to offshore places like oil and gas to see what that looks like in terms of incorporating that ahead of some of the certifications. So now we are. The blueprint is set, but I'm also fully leaning to my alternative work spot. So my question, what about you? Because some of you have some purpose back that you're not going to keep and ignoring for a while. What are the fears that are keeping you from leaning into it? Thankfully, something I learned from My Freedom from Fear is 5 foundations we put together that can help an adult overcome your fear of deep water and learn to self-rescue. And we found that those same 5 foundations, those same principles can be applied to overcoming every other type of fear. So I'm going to share them with you very briefly today, so you can think through that and see how you can apply that to whatever fears are keeping you from whatever your alternative purpose path is. Number 1 is to understand our way of the nature to feel fear. I'm not going to go deep because I know I have a time check. Yay. So whatever fears you're feeling, understand it's natural. It just means your brain is working properly. Okay? No shame in fear. Foundation number 2, fear is not always useful, it can be negative. In my particular scenario, holding on to my fear almost literally killed me.
What?
In your case, it might not be a literal death.
Why?
But if you ignore your purpose path, there will be some kind of death. Whether it's a death in your spirit, in your reason for being, so don't hold on to it. Foundation 3, stay in your body, be present. In water, this is about going away from the negative associations you have in water and going to your body to feel what the water is actually doing for you. This is where, when you're feeling, you realize that the water actually helps you. That the buoyancy of water actually puts you to the surface where there's air. And and you don't need to fight it. But it's by being present in awareness. In your alternative path, this might mean creating a space of stillness so you can hear your actual inner voice and be sensitive to the nudging of your purpose path from you. And foundation number 4, from a place of presence, practice and skills. In what is obvious. It's only after tackling the fears that we start to teach skills. Because now you're available, your attention is available to learn skills. That's why we start to teach the basic foundational things like floating, submerging, calmly, turning around, finding your exit, swimming to it, getting out of it. For your alternative path, this is when you start to learn that you don't need to know everything ahead. That if you're following that lead of your purpose, you can learn the skills you need to go through that path. You don't have to stay in imposter syndrome. You can learn what you need. And foundation number 5, learning to retrieve what you learned. For water, this means shedding the limited beliefs you have about water and learning to retrieve what actually is true. For instance, some of the things that kept me afraid in water was I thought I could swim because I'm black. And I thought I could swim because I was a muscular athlete. As it turns out, there's documentation from the earliest time, even when the colonists first arrived in Africa, showing Africans swimming, diving, and expertly doing water activities. So this idea that black people don't swim ain't true.
Say that.
And this whole idea that because you're muscular, somehow you're the same in the eye is not true. Think about the Olympians. Swimming Olympians, they're muscular! Have you seen microphones? But they're some of the best in water. They're so safe. So, clearly that was not true. I had to lean out of those were the truths in order to embrace the fact that I could be safe in water. Similarly, for your alternative path, you're going to have to link to whatever untrue things you believe in keeps you from this journey. No, it doesn't need to be MIT-ish. No, it doesn't even need to be STEM. It doesn't need to be the next billion-dollar idea. It doesn't need to be the next unicorn. Leaning into your purpose path will create an impact, no matter what this limited beliefs you might put around it. And so I know you may not feel fearless now, but hang with me, I will get it again.
Thank you.
So we have maybe a minute or so for questions, comments, and then we'll be heading downstairs. I believe MIT has provided us with an open bar, and we have the food trucks. So do we have any comments, questions? Dinner.
We have a lot of questions. Your presentation style is absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much.
To listen to. Could you talk to us about tips that you might have for people that are afraid of public speaking or So give us some tips. Tell us what we need to know.
Okay. Well, thank you, Doctor. This is what you Yes. We all need to feel fear. You will be terrified and you're going to stand in front of everyone. I know everyone thinks I'm this mega extrovert, and I am. It's true. I had to pee twice before this talk. So I got to fear, even for this. Okay, so that's natural. But understand that fear is only going to get in the way if you let it. So I have to be here and now. I'm standing here. I'm in my body. I'm safe. 2004. We love each other. Yeah. Right? And when you understand that and know, then you can stay present for your talk, right? But it's when you're too much in your head of all the things that could go wrong, that's when you stumble, that's when you don't remember, right? And that's when you're trying to memorize. But if you say, I'm going to be present for this, I know what I'm going to say, it may not happen exactly how I said it, and you testify that this is exactly how I said it, but by being present, you can roll the moment. So that's the key thing. Foundation 3, be present. Foundation 4, for not business presence, practice the skills. Get familiar with your mirror. Do it over and over again. Get a patient husband. Don't listen to you over and over again and tell you, you're 30 minutes out of time. And limits are true what we learn. At the end of the day, everyone who's going to come here is going to be nervous. And just understanding that this is the nature of things. It's okay. Just do you, be you. And people, and look, nobody's here to judge you or throw rocks into the air. No. So that's the truth. So thanks.